Hello everybody and welcome back to Workers and Resources, Soviet Republic. I'm having another go. This time I actually know what I'm doing. I've been practicing. Right, we're going to start off with some people on the map. Each one of these is about 2,000 people, so do about around about 6,000 people. I'm going to put the money on medium, citizen reactions medium. Energy management, we're going to have buildings, vehicles, so we use power lines and fuel. Day night cycles on. I could probably do with turning that off really. Although I just like the night cycle, it looks good at night time. We start in 1960, have the vehicles locked, and we're going to go with education complex as well. That we can't enable yet, it's not available. I'm not going to have frequent fires on, we'll just leave that normal. Right. I've been having a practice and I've learnt quite a lot about this game. One thing that I've learnt more than anything is that when I first started playing the game, I incredibly underestimated the complexity of it. Transport fever, it is not. It is a hell of a lot more complicated. There's a lot more to consider and there's a lot more to do, and it's, yeah. I'll get into it. I'm just trying to find my corner. Right, this is the corner where I always start. The reason being is because you've got NATO here and you've got the Soviet there. So we're starting over here. We're near enough, pretty near to the border. Now we're going to start very close to the border. I've seen quite a few people building. Because I've got medium money, I've only got 3.5 million rubles and $1 million. Whereas normally you have, I think, $2 million and 10 million rubles on easy. So we're going to have to export, and getting export set up early on is quite vital, because otherwise you just run out of money. The reason being is because you're buying everything in. You need to pay attention to the economy and to the trade. And this is something I didn't really do before. I never really looked that far into it. I just sort of pick the game up and learn as you go along, but it's just not that easy at all. So these are all your goods. You've got a delivery cost. So if you have a building here that you're building, or a storage yard here that you're storing, the delivery cost is only from there to there, so it's negligible. But if you come all the way down here, say, you know, and you're so many kilometres away, you're going to have to pay extra for your delivery. So that's something to take into consideration. Also, what you need to take into consideration as well is the cost. So look at this one. There's your delivery cost. So it's 4 rubles a kilometre. So if you're 20 kilometres away, it's going to cost you 80 rubles per tonne extra on top of what you're already paying. So foreign manpower. This is something I never really taken much notice of. When you're paying for buildings to be built, the average cost of one workday is 9 rubles. So let's take a look at a building. Any building. Let's turn this off. So if we look there, 228 workdays just on that small flat. So they're 304. We'll go off that 228. You're looking at an extra 2,000 rubles per building for a small block of flats in manpower, whereas if you're paying for it with your own workforce, you're paying less than a ruble a day. So there's a massive difference in cost, so that is something you've got to take into account. Another big factor that you've got to take into account is the working time of people. The way this works is it's split into 3 shifts. There's 3 8-hour shifts which you can man. So if you build a factory that takes 200 employees, you need 600 people to man it over the 24 hours. Now each person's day is split up into 3 sections. So you've got 8 hours working, 8 hours resting, and 8 hours shopping and education. So students will go and get students will get education instead of working. So you've got 8 hours education, 8 hours shopping, and 8 hours resting. Whereas with your workforce, you've got 8 hours working, 8 hours shopping, 8 hours resting. What this means is, if you're transporting people around via bus, it takes into account the amount of time they're waiting at the bus station and the amount of time it takes them to get to work. is factored into the working day. So if it's taking them 5 or 6 hours to get to work, you're only going to work for an hour or two, so your productivity is going to be very low. So rather than trying to build everything in one area, which is, I've done it a few times now and I can't get it to work properly at all. I have seen somebody built a massive city with about 50,000 people in it, and there's all sorts in it, but that's far more complicated than I'm ready to tackle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build sort of like little localized areas. We're going to start with the power plant over here, get the relevant buildings in, cinema, pub, shops, all that kind of stuff, get some houses in, get some schools in there, and then we'll connect it up to another town which will be down here, and we're just going to have, I'm going to build like little towns here, there and everywhere, with certain manufacturing in each town, and basically not try to drag too many people out of one area, because that's something I've done. Like for example, there's some coal up here. I'm going to go start building shortly, but some coal up here. So the last few attempts I've gone through, I've started up here and built a power plant. And the reason being, so we're not having to spend loads of money on importing power, electricity, because that just gets expensive. And anything you're importing at the end of the day is dead money. So you're losing before you start. Well, the first thing I want to build, which I'm going to put, show me bread. My tooltip disappears. Them tooltips are a bit annoying. I think they're going to do something about it though. When you're building, try and build on the grid. It makes life a hell of a lot easier. Right, so we're going to whack in a construction office down here. There will do. I'm going to turn the wireframe off. The wireframe is hideous to look at, but it's incredibly handy. One thing that definitely needs improvement in this game is the roads and the terrains. The road and the terrain, not trains. The trains need improving as well, but the road layout, when you try to build on any uneven surfaces, it can be an absolute nightmare to connect the roads up. So pre-flattening an area is absolutely vital, which is why I'm buying this. I do think I started this way last time as well, but alright, so this is going to need connecting up to a petrol station. It's also going to need connecting up to electricity, but for now it will work with the game on pause. So I want to flatten out this area now. I can use the bulldozers, and I'm going to show you so I'm going to build a construction yard here in a little while, probably on the next episode, because that's going to be quite a lot involved in that as well. But this, if we increase the auto search radius to 3,000 meters, it'll now show you how much coverage we've got from there. So we can flatten anything inside those checkered red area. The bulldozers and the excavators will reach that far now. Like I say, I'm going to have to go and put fuel and power in there in a while, but I've popped it down there because rather than building one here and losing half of the radius, I might as well use it from here. So, we want a coal mine. Now, you see the green areas, there's one right here, that's fantastic, but I don't want to stick my coal mine all the way up there. The reason being is because I'm going to have an absolute nightmare getting people up there, unless you was to build houses up there. But with the radius, with the reach of it, I was trying to say reach and radius at the same time then. With the radius you can just about cover a decent area. So let's get the auto build from rubles off, because I'm going to need to do a bit of flattening here. I just want to get that top section in. I want it to be pretty excavator. I've got excavators. What? Hang on, I've just bought Loads of them. Did I not buy? Yeah, I did. I bought excavators as well. I'm wondering if that might be too far away from the excavators. Shouldn't be. Maybe. See ya. Oh, we are actually just a tiny bit too far out. Okay. Right, I'm gonna have to pay for it. Oh, just on the edge of the area that it can cover. Right, it's alright, it won't be too expensive. Right, so let's get this coal mining up here. We're gonna have to auto build. I'm gonna have to bust some people up here. I don't want to be trying to build any housing up here. Right, let's whack that. Now let's see if we can get a road. It's on a bit of a slope, a bit of a slant, but never mind. Yeah, I'll have that. Take that. Right, let's get rid of this. I'm going to need to go and bulldoze all this road here. Get this out. I hope that music's not too loud. It should be okay. Right, let's take that down to there. We'll put that back in a bit. We don't need it in at the moment. Right, so the output of the conveyor is here. This can go a fair bit of distance. So we need the ore processing. It's gravel. Coal ore processing. Right, so we've got 4 inputs there. I don't think we're going to need to bring coal from anywhere else. There should be plenty coming from here. So look, try and keep it back behind this road. Now the entrance is on the other side. It's round up at the back there. There's an entrance there on that side as well. Got to consider where people are going to be coming in to work. And I also want to be able to get out of here as well with the coal. Two mans are putting it down here and then putting the power station alongside it there. Let's have a look at the power station. So that's fairly big. Right, so you've got 3 inputs there and then your worker's entrance. What I am going to do, just to save myself some money, I'm going to put another construction office down here. So a couple of bulldozers and things in. That'll stick it up here. We build anywhere? We'll have to build it there then. Let's get this built. Because I need some bulldozers down here. I'm going to have to do quite a lot of flattening. I'm not paying for it. Stick 3 of each in there for now. Oh, there's 4. Now then. Oh, don't pay for that. Right, let's get a bit of flattening on the go. Here we've got 3 bulldozers there. See how far we get before we get more bulldozers. What's that? That's where the... Right, so we've got more of an area than I thought there was. Let's get another couple of these on. 3 of them. 3 of them. I'd rather spend money on the bulldozers and things than wasting it on the terrain, because this will save me money in the long run now. Let's get nice straight road going down here. You can use the roads to flatten land out as well. Like if you want to try and flatten an area, or you try to flatten a hill down, sometimes it's easier and quicker just to go over it with a road and use that. Right, so get the road down here, a nice decent sized road. That built. Now we can go and flatten all this area out now. Make a nice space. One thing, like I said before, spread out, plan it out, but spread it out. Give yourself plenty of room. If you try and build in too small an area, you just end up making a mess of it, which is what I've been doing. Right, I'm going to need to smooth all this out. This is going to actually take me a while, so I'll come back to you shortly. Right. Yeah, that took a little while. I did take that road out because it was actually dipping. I couldn't level around it. Let's get the road out to there. Right. I've actually just done it again there now. Right, I'm going to put that road in just because it's needed at the moment. So now we've got the coal power plant. I wanted this built this over here, and then put the ore processing plant over here somewhere, and that way we can build the town down here. Excuse me, I've got coffee repeating on me. Let's get the wireframe nice and straight on the grid, straight as you can, using my left control button to make it turn a little bit better. See, that's not entirely straight. Sometimes if you spin it around, there we go, we're straight on the grid now. Right, so we're going to have to auto build this. It's going to be expensive, but it will save us a heck of a lot of money in the long run. Move it a little bit further back just so we've got that. If I need to get power out that way, I can do. Right, so we need a coal processing plant. I think if we put this over here, we can use a couple of engine transfers, get it over the road and into the power station. Thinking maybe we're going to need to get it from here as well. Now then, the outputs are that way. The problem I've got is I don't want these to be right in the middle of town. I think that construction office was in a bad place. Really, do you think? Oh, there's vehicles in it. That's actually a good job I can't demolish it because there is vehicles in it. Right, let's just flatten up this a little bit. Let's get this construction office over here. Put it down at this end. Go there. A bit rude. Gravel will do. That built. Now then, vehicles. Get that built. I need to move all the vehicles to another depot now. That's something to take into consideration if you build in construction yards and road depots and things. You can't bulldoze them if they've got vehicles in them. Just remember that. It's, don't know of an easier way of doing this. There is, in this game, a heck of a lot of clicking. Seems to be forever clicking in and out of menus and clicking this, clicking that. And yeah. That we've already done. These are definitely going to need some fuel soon. Really empty. Let's go stick a fuel station in now. Might as well have one in town. Leave room to get a road through there. A little bit of a service area over this side of town. When you're building construction yards and fuel depots, don't put your petrol station directly opposite, especially if you've got all bulldozers and excavators, because what happens is, if you do a lot of smoothing while it's on pause and they all run out of fuel, when you get the game going again, you'll end up with a traffic jam here in between the petrol station and the construction yard. The problem there lies is you can't move the vehicles, you can't delete any of the buildings, you can't delete any of the road, and you're just stuck with a permanent traffic jam. Yes, I've done it. It's a bit of a pain to say the least. Right, are you going? You're going there. Yes, right. Good, I want to get rid of this. Come on. Get a bit of smoothing on the go once this rubble disappears. And I don't have to have this ore processing plant so far away then. So the inputs are on that side, the outputs are on that side, so we need to get down into here, so move it back a bit further, because we're going to need to put an engine transfer in there. No, we need it on the other side of the road. I'm just going to put in the blueprints for now, and I'm going to have to go back and manually rebuild it in a minute. The reason being is because I want to get these in. Oh, I've not left enough room. Not rebuilding the power station because that was too expensive. Possibly. Thinking, because I've got to get, there needs to be one here to get over the road. Wondering if I might just have enough room there. Let's have a look. That one's fine. Can I get the road under there? Do I need to get the road under there? Get the road to there, but then I can't get it onto there. Right, let's move this back a bit. Get rid of that. This is why I'm building in planning mode. Otherwise it would have cost me money already now. You need to press. Oh no, it's gone. It's gone. Right, let's get a little bit of a road out of here and then see what we're doing a bit better. Oh, not quite. Those pillars are not colliding. Just about colliding with the edge of the road there, so we just need to build it a tad further away. The only thing is, getting this hooked up to road is going to be a bit of a problem. Right, that was up against that line, so let's move it back a little bit. Let's try from here. Yes. With any luck, I should be able to get a little bit of road. Oh no. That's because that's coming across there. Problem we've got there is if that burns down, I can't afford to risk. Can't afford to risk having the power going off because that'll cost money. Lose a lot of money if the power goes out. Right, let's see if we can move this over a little bit. Go to about there. Gives us a bit more wiggle room. I don't want this conveyor here cutting across diagonally across the road. There we go, nice and straight now. Right. Just a little bit, just give me a bit of dirt road will do. What? Not gonna let me have it with that conveyor there. Let's see if we build the road first. I'll let me build the road first. Bet you won't let me build a conveyor now though. Oh, it does. Right. Yeah, so dirt roads are free. Other roads are not. Right, so I'm going to pop that in there. We're going to get these conveyors built. They're in a place where they can stay now. Just before we fund this one, I just want to make sure I can connect this back up on the road. I should be able to. Yeah. Anyway, that'll do. Right. By that, let's make sure I can get a conveyor in here. I don't see why not. That's fine. Get that built. Get this built. 126,000. Wow. Right, so we also need to make sure that this is connected up via roads as well. If we were to bring a road from here. Leave that little bit on the end for now. Not that we need it. Right. So, the power station takes 20 employees. This takes 15 employees. This is just workers on the construction site, so you don't need to worry about that. But this takes 220. So we're going to need to run a couple of little buses up here. We've got a traffic jam. We've got a traffic jam because we've got no power in yet. Right, let's get some power. We're going to have to import power anyway to begin with. Just to get the power station up and running. So, yeah, the main power lines coming across here. across here. I'm going to put a switch, high voltage switch in here. Oh, I've got no bulldozers because they're all stuck out there. Let's just pop it there. Oh, build it. Right, this is so that my power can bypass the power station, my electrical power as well. You've got to. This is another thing you've got to take into consideration: is electricity. This power station will power other buildings, right, and it'll provide you with power. If, however, you have one side connected to the border and one side connected to your power grid, if your power goes out, you can't import power because the power will not flow through the power station from the border. When you're importing, it'll come in, but it won't go through this and into other buildings. So you need that. You need it separated, so that the power comes past the power station as well as going into it. If that makes sense. I also want to put a, even though again this will power, if we do run out of coal or anything, I need to be able to switch the power back on again. I'm going to run let's put a substation over here somewhere. There needs to be one over here for town anyway. I'm going to pop one just over here. It's going to let me. Swap one on this side, please. Won't build because it's trying to flatten out the road. Oh, I need them bulldozers. Let's get some power in. We need a transformer. I could do with flattening this out before I put any of this in. Let's go and put a transformer over here. Then we can put another switch in between. Facing that way. Then we can bring extra power coming down here. So when you're building your power lines, you've also got to take into account when you're building your medium power lines is how much power you're putting down them. So daisy chaining substations, if you use a medium voltage switch and keep breaking off switch after switch after switch off the same line, these only carry a maximum of 2.2 megawatts, so they won't provide you with enough power for your whole city. One substation isn't ever going to be enough. You need a few. I'm going to put one, get one down here. Just run the power lines across. Just think if I can. So I might need to get a footpath down there. Put it about there. Let's get that road there. Give him a grid. Make sure we're all straight. Put a road across there and then we'll just have a bit of a dirt track on that. No, that is a substation. That I'm going the wrong way. Right. Just want to bring this around. Right, so we should be able to import power now. Do 20%. Lights are on. Building these without power supply. Maybe if we build the thing first. There we go. Lights are on. Right, now my bulldozers can refuel. That is going to cost me a bit of money because we're importing the fuel and the electricity, the power. This is all up and running. Right. flatten this area out a little bit. Let's get another substation up here. Put a switch in so we can hook it up into there if we need to. We don't actually need to, no, we don't need to do that at all. Just thinking where I'm going to run this cable from. I think I'll run it from this one. A little bit of playroom here when I do hook them up. Right, so we've got coal ore processing. This will produce coal ore once we get workers in there. That'll ship it down to here where it'll turn it from ore into coal, and then we can whack the coal out there. Wondering, have I left enough room to get... Oh, we can get a conveyor out this way. There is a... Get the conveyor out that way as well. We've put another... Yeah, there's a power pole in front of that, so I can move that, that's not a problem. Let's get everybody refueled there. I'm just thinking for when we want to export the coal, I'll be able to pump it into here, because this is going to get full, this is going to get 100 tonnes, won't take long to get. And then that'll stop producing, and then that'll stop producing. You just have idle workers then, it's not making any money. So if we take it down here and fill up a train full of coal and then just whiz it back and forward, or even trucks, you don't get a lot for coal, but you can produce a heck of a lot of it. So let's get another road across here. What we've got to do now is start thinking about the town. Is all them refueled now? Still a couple of bulldozers in there. It's the only thing working close to the border as well, is in sort of back up to the border. Like, I can't go any further backwards from here. Kind of stuck at that point. If you hold your mouse wheel in and move as well, it gives you sort of a bit better movement rather than just zooming rapidly in and out. Okay, so we are going to need to get a bit of a road, dirt path up here. We're probably going to have to move these again. There definitely needs a road coming down along this side so that we can get access to a fire station. There will be a road coming down along here. There, right. Let's get this paused. Right, so I need to start building the town centre. Right, okay, so I need to start building the town centre. These are probably going to get shifted, possibly. The construction yard most likely will anyway. What do we want? Station, platform. Wondering if I can get a bus platform. I doubt very much I'm going to be able to get a shop in there. Let's have a look. Grocery store is only small, so I might be able to. Okay. Shopping centre, are we? I reckon we can do this. This should be alright. We'll get a shopping centre. I was thinking of putting the schools in the middle actually. Kindergarten's small, school's a bit bigger, but it will fit there. School in there. Again, I should be doing this on planning mode. The only thing is, if you do it on planning mode, you sometimes forget to go and actually build them. Right, small bus platform. whip it round that way. Leave a bit of a room to get a pass through. Let's get the white frame on here. See if we can get kindergarten in. Going that way. No. Stick it in there, right. Let's see if we've left any room for footpaths now. Should definitely be able to get one across there. Nice straight lines. Can I get one? I can get it to there, but it's not going to allow that. It's not going to connect up to this. Too close. Take it back a little bit. Pathing can be very odd. Bad as roads, but yeah, we should be doing this on there. Get this out of it. Set this out. Set this out here. Build like that. Can I build onto there? Build onto that bit there. No way he's gonna let me. Oh, it's done it. Excellent. Right. I wanted to get a through pass. And any buildings on this side can get to any buildings on that side then as well. Right, that's good. We left room for a little bit of get them built. Get these built. Yeah, when you're building in planning mode, these road bits are the bits that you tend to forget. The bits that I tend to forget anyway. Right, let's get this bus station built. Now, turn passengers and students off. Don't want any passengers and students waiting there. Reason being, people will go and wait at an empty bus station. They'll just go and fill the bus station up, which is no good. Because then their 8 hours of education or their 8 hours of shopping are being wasted just sitting at an empty bus station. So that will get them upset and miserable as well. Not having a proper shopping trip or being able to go and do a proper work shift or get to school. Right, that's the gas station. What are you doing? The pub bolted. Got a pub at the end of the street here. Bit of room to get that path across. Still on planning lock. Oh, yeah. Right, what that was then, there's a lamppost in the middle of the bizarre green lamppost. Okay, right, so we've got education. Now we need shopping. think a small shopping centre over this side would do nicely. Just going to go and remove that path because you can't connect roads up to where there's a footpath, and vice versa. You can't connect footpaths up to junctions. I hope that's going to get fixed. Oh, we've got a shopping centre. Right, there are plans to have certain things fixed. He's working on some stuff, but yeah, some things are just really awkward. So we can get a footpath to there. To there. Hoping to be able to get a little statue in there or something. Leave them there for now. It's built. How are we doing for time? I don't want to go over an hour long with these episodes, just because it's just too much. But there is so much it takes involved in building. Right, so I think shall continue this road here. Let's get the white frame. Maybe we can get a couple of buildings in here. But there. Maybe flattening some more of this out, really. Yeah, one of the improvements we're working on is better landscaping tools. So that's going to be fixed in the next patch. When the next patch is going to be out, I don't know. The last one was over a month ago, so I'm hoping there's one due relatively soon. Going to work on the personal cars, getting that fixed, and he's working on the signals for the trains because they definitely don't work properly. They work to an extent, but you can't. I will get into the trains and I'll explain how the semaphores work and everything. They don't work like they do in Transport Fever. They're not normal. They're just not right. They're just not normal. Yeah, it's block signal management as opposed to passing signals, and it is. Oh, it gets on my nerves. It's really head-wrecking. It just doesn't make sense, and certain types of junctions don't work. They don't work close up to one another. Right now, can we get some flats in here? Get a small block in there. Get a bigger block in there. When you're connecting up to your roads and things, if you connect up there, for example, you stick it in here, that footpath now, you won't be able to get out of there. And you won't be able to get a footpath across. But if you connect up and leave a decent bit of room, the road, see, I'm not going to be able to get a footpath in between these two buildings, but I wanted to leave enough room so that footpath can hop onto there, to there. So now they can get in and out. Let's get that built. Oh, do you know what I did? Just paid for people to come in as well. I didn't mean to do that. Potential. I've got 6,000 already. I've got 8,000. How many people have got? I've got 5,000. 5,000 people on the map, so paying for things is a bit. Paying for people to come in is a bit daft. I've got 5,000 people already. Right. Let's get these footpaths built. No point waiting around for them. Now I can connect up over there to there. Get one going to about. Get them built. So now these people can get pretty much everywhere. let's pause. Right, so how many people we've got in here? We've got 52 people in there. You need 5, 15, 25, 50. Station doesn't. Right, so you need 50 people working in that area, so we're going to designate this block of flats as the service area. So they're going to go and work. Shopping centre needed 25 people, so we'll set that to 48%, 50%, and the rest roughly about the same. There's 5, they need 10, they need 10. Actually, it's the pub that needs the least. We'll drop the pub down to 10%, give them near enough 20%. That'll do. Right, so we've got people going to work in the pub, we've got people working in the school and the kindergarten, and we've got people working in the shopping centre. Right. We're going to need some sports facilities up in here. Let's get a row here. That bit of footpath. No, connect up to that bit. Thank you. Just like to do weird and wacky stuff. Right, so we need a couple of blocks of flats. We need 2 more blocks of flats to service this area, because 50 people is only enough for one shift. And then we need another 600 people to service this, and another 100 people to service these 2. So these all 74, so be able to get 2 blocks of flats in here. Get some footpaths. Just get these built for now. Once I build the construction industry, I'm going to start having them build our own buildings. But this first town, I'm going to have to pay for everything, because otherwise it'll just take too long to build. Right, let's get it on pause. How are we doing for people now? Have we got people waiting there already yet? No. State of these paths. The paths are just mental. Yeah, they just always end up completely and utterly all over the place. Ridiculous. I don't think I'm going to get that out. Going up. They're annoying as well. Yeah, you can't build too close, otherwise it just won't hook up. Those flat hooked up. I don't want to hook that side up yet because it's there, that's good. Yeah, there'll be buildings going in here. So that, yeah, if you connect your paths up to the roads, if I go and connect these up now, I'm going to struggle to get any buildings in. So get the buildings in first, and then we'll get all the paths hooked up. Yeah, I've missed those little bits of road there that cause problems. Right. That'll cover them. Let's have a look. These, even though these these seem like the most economical buildings for me. Tell me, they're 20 grand, so they're a lot dearer. But they hold 162 workers and they don't take up a massive footprint. You can get quite a few people in one area. Whereas these hold 174 workers, but they take up quite a lot of room. I do, however, quite like them. Nice long row of brick flats, but these only hold 8 less workers. As you can see, I could get like 4 of them in along there. Or 3 anyway, definitely, instead of 2. In the space I could get 2 of these in, I could get 3 of these in. These hold 75 workers. So you could get quite a few of them in there. These, why they have to have 3 street connections is beyond me. I just really don't get it. It's ugly, it looks a right mess, and it causes you problems, especially if you build close up. People from one side of the building can't get to the stuff on the other side of the building. These need redoing. They could just do one, just have 1 street connection in the middle. I don't know why they need 3. Why these need 2 connections. He's gonna sort that out. Right, so don't spend all day picking blocks of flats. I think we're gonna go with these ones. I want to leave room for get a path along this edge. Seems to be exactly lined up on the grid. Let's try run. So, a bit of room for the to get out. We've got to get 2 in here. Said that. Yeah, no, I'm gonna need to get the thing. Two of these will do anyway. Didn't want to delete the road, I wanted to delete the path. Let's get this road out. Further away from the building so I can get footpaths in. That's not exactly straight, but do. Did I build these? Yes. Right. How are we doing for time? We're nearly on an hour. Well, I was just hoping to get this, get the power up and running before the end of the episode. It's in here. Oh, do you know where to connect this up to now? Need that connected. The footpath reaches, they can get, as long as they can get to the schools and the shopping centre. That's the main thing really. They can't get to this yet, but they can, which means it's just a case of connecting up the footpaths. Now they can go to the bus station, which is what they started doing. Good. Get a bit more path in there. Connect up onto anywhere. Put that back a bit. I think I'm going to move this petrol station. That way I can move the road a little bit further up and then we can get that footpath connection in. There. Yeah, it's important to be able to get people across and in and out of your cities, in and out of your various buildings and stuff. I've not left enough there to around like that. Don't know whether they'll use that. I might actually move these two buildings over slightly so that I can get a footpath onto that bit as well. I could do with them hooked up. Can you get to the school now? Yes. They can almost get to work. It's going to be the closest building. Right, we need a road depot. We're going to stick somewhere. To extend the road out a bit. Means I'm going to have to flatten the land out a bit. Don't pay for it. Right, so I've nearly spent $1 million. Just over an hour. That'll do for this one episode. I just want to get buses on the go so we can get the mine workers working. Just get that built. Road vehicles depot then. With the road vehicles depot, I've noticed sometimes if you build it too close to another building, you can't click on the you can't click on the vehicles that are in the yard, which is a problem when you wanted to copy the schedules. Really is. Right, so we've got a couple of let's get a couple of these. Set you to there, and then we'll be able to copy the schedule over to the other one. Yeah. Go. I also want to put petrol station over here somewhere. It should be over here though. I thought I'd be able to sneak one in the middle there, maybe for right. Just in there in that bit would be lovely if you could. Ever so close that. Because the land around it's right, stick it up there. Really want it up all the way up there though. Would have liked it here. Don't have any at all now. I'll have to get one anyway. Built that at a rather awkward angle then. Put it up here. Because I'm going to need some housing in there. I can't make my mind up now. This is one of the things that I tend to do quite a lot as well, is end up dithering. Shall I do this? Shall I do that? Maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that. I am going to fix a few things before I come back on the next episode. How we doing for time? We're over an hour anyway. All I want to do is get this petrol station in and then go and turn the power on. Right. We're going at all sorts of angles now. It's because I'm rushing now. Just give me a petrol station somewhere, please, and I don't want it directly opposite the... Oh. That's straight. It doesn't look like it is. I'm going to move these anyway. Right, they're just in there for now. Let's get rid of that. Right, so these people waiting at the bus station, this is already cutting into their working time now, you see. The bus has gone for fuel. So even if you space the buses out as well, because they will occasionally shoot off and go and get some fuel, they'll end up bunching up along the way and they'll space themselves out along the way, but you'll end up with people waiting. We've got anybody in work? We've got people in work, excellent. Right, switch the power from import to export. Do 80% at the moment. Now the money's going up, yay! Game over, I've won. No, not even barely beginning yet. I haven't got any sports facilities in. There's a couple of things I want to change. This needs moving. It's right slap bang in the middle of town. It's no good. I'm probably going to put the train station in here. I do want to get a few statues in here and there somewhere, wherever possible. I do want to try and get a bit more footpath connection going on. I've not left enough room on that side to connect that up, that's a shame. Because people can go on that way anyway. But to get off the bus station they can get to everywhere. They can reach all the flats, that's all it does. As long as everybody can get shopping and things. Unable to get meat and clothes. Why were you unable to get meat and clothes? Shopping centres there. I've only just built a path, so. And we need a cinema. Just realised I've not built a cinema. Right, so that's a start. Yes, I'm gonna build things. Try and build things in a reasonably neat. As neat as I can anyway, and as sensible as I can anyway, without just trying to slap everything in willy-nilly. So we have got the power up and running. Next episode I think I might start working on the construction area. I built that all the way down there. That's why it was out of reach. I thought I'd built it here. So Pardubici, yes, sounds about right. Pardubici down here is going to be the construction facilities, and we'll get on with that probably in the next episode. Although I do need to set up an export business as well, because exporting power is not going to keep us in the money. As you can see, it's trickling up very slowly, and if we've got no money and we're sitting here watching this going up like this, 50, 60, 70, 80, and we try to save up 35 grand for a new train or something, or a new block of flats, yeah, no. And I'm going to have to spend money on materials anyway, but buying in raw materials and building the things yourself is still a heck of a lot cheaper than actually paying for stuff to be built, although it does take quite a lot longer, but we'll get round to it. Right, so end of the first episode. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you can I'm going to try and stick at this one. I'm going to try and do a lot better. Like I say, I have had a few goes at this, playing without recording, just because I wanted to get practice in, and I have built and extended pretty much all the way down here before. Big farmland in here, big construction area. Did have gravel and cement production going on down here, which I'll probably do again. Actually, I did my construction area there last time, and there was a farming area here that produce alcohol and food and clothing. So we'll look at expanding a bit further in the next episode. Like I say, I don't want to try and draw too many people from one area, because especially this area, because I want to make sure there's enough people to keep this staffed at all times. Because if this runs out, then we've got to start buying in coal ore, and then the money starts dropping rapidly while it refills this. If this runs out, we don't want to be buying in any coal, because coal's expensive to buy in. So it's 20 rubles a ton to buy in, and your coal ore's 8 rubles, 7.85 to buy in. But if you're buying in 100 tons at a time, you know, that's nearly £1,000 a time just to fill it up. So, just thinking, how much coal ore does it take to produce coal? Right, so it takes 210 tons of coal ore to produce 120 tons of coal, so pretty much 2 to 1. Not quite, but yeah. So to fill the power plant up, you're looking at £2,000 worth of coal ore if you're buying it in. You don't want to be doing that all the time. As for what you're selling the power on the way out to what you're paying for it to coming in, it's not worth it. So all it means basically is just keeping enough. Yeah, look, we're out of power. Hey, freaky deakies! Switch that back on. It's back up and running. Let's get back to export again. This is what happens, you see. You've got to keep an eye on it. Buildings about power. Because there's no coal. Damn it. I want to buy it in. Get this coal filled up, will you? I think we're just going to buy the minimum coal ore for now. Just to stop the power station from running out. As soon as it's filled up, or even halfway full, I'm going to go and turn that off. Right. I could carry on. I'm not going to though, because it's going to be long enough. Right, alright. I'll leave it for the next episode. I'll talk to you really soon. Thanks again for watching. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you for the next one really soon. Bye.